Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Jane, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Happy holidays. Wishing you and Charlene all the best in 2019. Thank you for all you do for victims of narcissistic abuse. Going through people's stories of trauma with them and helping them requires a strong character and a big heart. Thank you. I am sorry in advance as the letter may be long and somewhat repetitive. We have been working on it and rewriting it for a while now, but it is so difficult to decide what will be relevant and what can be skipped, as any detail may inspire valuable feedback from you, and we do hope to hear your feedback and thoughts. My name is Jane and I am 30. My younger brother, who is 28, and I were raised by narcissistic parents. We have always known there were cycles in our parents' behavior, from love to rage. But we were not sure what this was. We found out about narcissism 3 years ago. At first, we thought that our explosive father was a narcissist, while Mom, who cries a lot, was a victim. But soon we realized that she is probably a covert narcissist and a histrionic. As a kid, Mom was an excellent student with exemplary behavior, very pretty, often compared to other kids as an example, and allegedly either adored or envied by them. Mom easily gets offended and has an image of a virtuous housewife who put aside her dreams and allegedly only lives for us. Dad had a weak health as a kid and spent much time in bed during primary school. He had been bullied and attacked physically by others. For the damage he took, he seems to have come up with stories to overwrite it, as sometimes his stories do not add up. A lot of bullies come up with very convincing stories. You know, my father used to tell these stories about my grandfather and growing up. They never matched up. They never added up. Never added up. That's the problem. Like, you just take them at their word. Like, oh, well, you know what my father did to me, and you got bullshit. You never take them at their word. Never. During his rage at us, he yelled things about having been bullied. Why do you think they called me psycho? Because when they spit at me, I was killing them with stones. So your father wasn't bullied. Your father was a bully, and your father was the weird bully kid that the other kids finally had enough of and said, fuck you, and alienated him. And to your father's fucked up mind, that's him being bullied, as he's hucking rocks at people. Shitbag sociopath. He has not killed anyone. This is a rage talk, and they love to talk. The narcissist loves to talk about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. He has a lot of anger towards us, but we have barely seen him rage at anyone else. Right, because his rage is selective. It's selective rage. That's how you know it's not some out-of-control thing, because he knows who to rage at and who not. Because some guy will punch his teeth down his throat, he's not going to rage at, but he has no problem raging at two little kids, does he? That's how you know they're bullshit. My mom and dad are sweet and most accommodating people around others. They often act shy or awkward and do not communicate with people much. It seems like interaction exhausts them and they try to escape. As for us, they want us around all the time. Mom and dad kept distance from the outside world using jokes and lack of information. They change topics to escape unwanted conversations. They say to us, family matters are family business. They provide us with very limited information and often change it later. And that's what the Narc family always says. Family business, don't air your dirty laundry, you keep it in the family. No. The only thing you're keeping in the family is your abuse. That's what you want to keep in the family. As kids, our physical needs have generally been met and we were taken care of, but we were emotionally abused. Most of childhood and teenage years, we lived in constant tension, guilt, and confusion. Since we were very little, Dad raged at us, yelled, and pushed us around. Mom would cry. They would blame us for being the reason of their fights and misfortunes. Yeah, I was blamed for all my parents' fights. Always mine. It always somehow, 6 degrees of separation comes out to be your fault. They would lock themselves in their room or kitchen and fight for hours with screams and tears, and Dad often breaking things. We would sit quietly in our room, often hungry, and talking about the worst kids not deserving forgiveness and talking about being the worst kids not deserving forgiveness and regretting being born. When they came out, we would feel very guilty and scared and expect their rage. When they fought during vacations, we walked outside, hungry, confused, and guilty, trying to be invisible to them. We were scolded and blamed for no reason and punished for crying, as if it was our fault. We were to shut up and not dare cry. Then Dad would make us take happy family photos for memories. Oh, how many photos I had to take after just being friggin' screamed at. The robocall blocker is supposed to not even make that ring. Then Dad would make us take happy family photos for memories. In the photos, we tried to smile, but our faces were sad and exhausted. Parents said that we did not appreciate their taking us to beautiful places, ungrateful and ruined vacations. Well, who can have a nice vacation? It's like it's the broken plate theory. Once you're broken, any good memories on top of it, any good food on a broken plate still sucks. Could be your favorite food ever. If it's on a broken plate, it ain't the same. And that's the narcissist. They break you, and then they want to try to force feed happy memories to you and then wonder why you don't like it. Oh, gee, I can't figure that out. There was some physical abuse here and there, but not very often, mostly because we were so quiet that Dad could not see a breach in our defense. We think he got pleasure out of watching us in the corner looking for ways to de-escalate any situation. It was like watching someone go extreme or go extreme life or death situation when all you have to do is just throw a hint of anger. The atmosphere at home was always like something was about to go down at any day, at any moment. Kind of like being afraid of him throwing rocks, huh? At any time, he could just start throwing rocks again. And that's what he told you. At any time, I could start throwing rocks. He would stand silently and look with an empty and scary expression for no reason. If you asked him what's wrong, he would take a pause and say something irrelevant and weird to keep the suspense and fear in the air and just walk away. He's just a creep. He's a creep. And this is what he did as a kid. And this is why he got his ass kicked as a kid. Because he was doing creepy fucking shit. But when we were not very quiet and submissive, shit always got physical in a split second, followed by a very emotional gaslighting section. How could you even think I could do that to my own child when that's exactly what he did yesterday or an hour ago? It often feels like Dad is afraid of what he's capable of, and there are some darker things on his mind that he's afraid would come to the surface. One day he got physical and very aggressive. The night after that happened, I woke up to some loud noises and heavy steps. I walked out of my room, and it was one fucked up scene to observe. In complete darkness out of nowhere, he started walking around in circles like a maniac. His signature cannibal face expression, repeating that he would never hit his child and whispering some other things that sounded like some black magic spells tearing clothes on him. Weird things like this used to happen a lot, but were never addressed, explained, or discussed, and we had to pretend like it just never happened. One of Dad's signature moves is his stare. When we were little kids, it was probably most terrifying experience, as his face was really out of this world. Let me explain this to you. This is bullshit. Not that you're telling me is bullshit. What your father is doing is a bullshit act. He knows he's doing it. He admitted it. Why do you think they called me psycho? He knows what he's doing. This is an act. And he can't stop playing. He's obsessed with it. He can't stop playing because he gets pleasure out of it. It's all an act. It's all an act. I promise you it's all an act. Hysteria is a combination of different emotions that don't go well together. It's like a mix between inhumane anger, a bit of pleasure, and at the same time some morbid out of touch with reality daydreaming, all while he's in a narcissistic rage. Does he ever have any of these in front of anybody other than you, your brother, and your mother? No, he doesn't. That's how you know he's bullshit. No, when he's out in public, he has to get physical. Like throw rocks, right? Well, when he was a kid. He's bullshit. He figured out throwing rocks and doing things overtly, he's going to get his fucking teeth knocked in. So he just changed tactics to people he can more easily bully. Sometimes he would start walking towards me with that face. My brother would jump between us. Dad would be pushing him, and my brother would simply block him. I don't know what would happen to me otherwise. My brother and I shared a room, and the door needed to be open at most times. At any moment, a parent could show up behind our backs, and the situation could escalate in a minute. An activity, posture, joke, face, expression. We couldn't even roll our eyes or loudly exhale, as these would be addressed as a challenge. Things were so tense that for several years I acted as a mascot, a clown, to soften fights. When I stopped to save my identity, they became more hostile. Exactly what I did. I had to be the court jester. I had to just made it easier, because if I ever tried to save my identity, then the hostility came and the violence. Dad rushed us like pets. He would give us a task and say, faster, run. Dad would use us little kids to make up to mom after their fight. He sent us to her saying, go hug mom, she's crying because of you. When we went to her, she rejected us, and he got frustrated. Go try better. Find a way to make her happy. Mom was playing it like she wanted to be left alone, while Dad would keep sending us back to apologize and hug her and make her happy. Yeah, your mother's even worse than he is, because you thought she's the victim and she's allowing him to run around. So if she's so afraid and she's such the victim, why does he have to send you to apologize to her for him if she's so afraid of him, huh? Covert narcissist, pulling his strings. She ain't afraid of him. She's pulling his strings. We felt helpless, confused, sad, and scared, and just wanted to disappear. Mom also sacrificed us. For example, during one of his rages, Dad tried to take my brother's pants off while my brother was hanging upside down, holding on to them. My dad shook him until he slammed the floor head first. It was terrible. When Dad left, Mom said to us, I don't hate you. I want to see you. He left us alone in the room, alone in the room, devastated, scared, and guilty. Most of the time while our peers would play, we had to study or clean the house. When I was 8, Mom hit me on the head with textbooks, saying I was a stupid liar for getting a good mark instead of the excellent one I promised to get. What's worse, I dared to play with other kids while waiting for her, instead of sitting guilty in the corner. Mom said that others could do whatever they wanted, but I did not deserve to play. There were always double standards. Others would even get respect for things we were not allowed to do or raged at for. Mom and Dad would lock themselves with my brother and hold long judging sessions. He would stand in front of them while they were sitting, watching him as if he was a thief. They would set up traps, do some cross-examination, bullshit tactics, and eventually accuse him and punish him for things that never took place. They asked him for a reason to forgive him, and he cried and asked to give him another chance. He was 7 or 8. Once we were not getting once we were not getting a math task, and Dad really got aggressive and physical and yelled that he would not tolerate idiots in his motherland. Oh, you're German. Of course, German. Once my brother played in the kitchen and accidentally made scratches on the fridge with a knife. He was severely judged for months after. Mom said it was the first thing that brought together with Dad, and Mom said it was the first thing they brought together with Dad, and went as far as crying and telling him that she did not feel safe and was afraid he would come at night and kill her with a knife. He was really shocked and trying to convince them it would not happen. Yeah, this is histrionic. This is a histrionic borderline. Manipulating her own children. She's worse than him. She's actually worse. They made everything personal to show us how bad they were hurt and said they really wished and tried to understand us but couldn't. Explaining things to them was like hitting a wall with your head. While punishing us, they acted as if they were suffering more than us because they loved us so much and that we hurt them by forcing them to punish us. But we noticed how fast they were back in a good mood while we were completely crushed and needed more time to recover than the time until shit went down again. So we were in constant state of fear, guilt, and tension. But they would feel more energetic after fights. It was easier to interact with them one-on-one than when they were together. It seemed, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As bad as they were apart when they were together, when my parents were together, forget it. It seems like once Mom and Dad could mess with us more, they started fighting less between themselves, focusing on fighting my brother and I. They also suppressed the best in each other, coexisting peacefully with a certain very narrow frame of behavior. When Dad expresses his better side, more cheerful and funny, with fresh ideas, Mom brings him down, unless it's something under her control. In turn, Dad often sabotages her good initiative by going emotionally absent or busy. Mom and Dad provoked me emotionally. They started painful topics of injustice, torture, suffering, etc. I would often explode and shout out bad words and how I wanted bad guys punished. They then would say they couldn't tell me anything without me reacting crazy, that I had not experienced a small part of what they had lived, and that instead of saying that I would kick someone's ass, I should go and do it. They enjoyed proving that I was helpless. I sobbed while parents would say I was unstable and naive. I could not be told stories and needed to grow up. This continued for years. I've had nightmares of violence against me or others who I couldn't help, of being sentenced to be killed, often by Dad. My brother was more reserved. He had lost trust in them earlier. They would say he had no social skills. During dinners, they would say to him, "You need to learn to talk to people. Tell us a story." Then they would enjoy watching him not know what to say and pushing him more. They blamed him for breaking things he didn't break. Dad was cold to him and even mentioned wanting to kick him out of the house. We were not allowed to watch much TV as it was harmful. While our classmates were discussing movies, songs, and other trendy little things that make kids bond together, we felt like aliens. It was extremely hard to blend in back then. If we tried watching anything, they would come, give us a tense, judging look, and ask what it was and if we had done our homework. Mom guilted us for having fun while she was suddenly busy and asked if we did not have a desire to help her. They criticized almost everything we watched or listened to. When I was 14 watching a movie with Grandma, Dad asked what we were watching and why. Then he started a fight over me not finishing food. Mom stopped him after a bit. He came back and picked up my posture. He pushed my head to the right, pushed it to the left. Hating his attitude, he did it again. So did I. He raged, grabbed me, started dragging me around the house, scraping scraping skin off my knees as they were rubbing against the floor. I was looking him straight in the eye, saying I was not afraid. He raged more. Grandma was scared and asked him to stop. Then Mom came in. He finally left. Soon, sad and guilty, he said, "Please forgive the old idiot." I moved and said, "Okay, forgive me too." It was a typical cycle of abuse and peace. You had him there. When you wouldn't back down, you had him. Because he's a fucking coward. He's a fucking... That's what your father is a coward. Is a coward. He's only tough when he's able to throw rocks. As soon as you fight back to him and you tell him you're not scared, he's a coward. Dad used to come up to my little brother with an intimidating look, push him and say, "What? If a thug comes to you, you will cry like a girl?" Later, Dad competed with him, saying that at his age, he used to lift more weight and was better at every aspect that makes a man a man. As brothers' powerlifting numbers were getting higher, Dad's personal records would increase too. Strange. Normally people remember what they said a month ago, but he would change it all the time. He didn't even try to make it believable. Typical baby boomer. Now imagine if you're 30 and he's 28, your parents are baby boomers, and they won't stop competing. And they won't stop competing with their... This is growing up with baby boomer parents. This is what it's like. Constant competition, violence, they don't get their way. But when you stand up to them and you tell them you don't fucking scare me, ooh, they start crying, looking for their fucking sympathy again. Mom hit me in the face with a card I made for her when I was 8 for a Woman's Day that turned out clumsy, and she was upset that I did not appreciate her enough to make a good card she deserved. She humiliated me for biting my nails as a kid out of a constant tension and threatened to send me to school with shit on my nails. I bit my nails. My mother used to put bitter shit on my nails. I became accustomed to the bitter shit to the point where I took it in front of her. It was like nail polish she would put on, and I took it and I just put a stripe of it right down my tongue. And she never did it again, never talked to me about my nails again. Yeah, I don't bite my nails anymore. Mom barely let me choose what to wear, and they controlled all the money anyway. They would criticize my outfit as shallow and vulgar, when in fact I was one of the shyest girls in class. Mom and Dad dressed awkwardly, and when I tried to help Mom as an adult, Dad said they didn't need any of those shallow things, as they were always busy and are more about personality and what matters. They stick to their awkward style and keep each other in it. Weird. Wouldn't it be natural to want each other to look and feel better? They kept us at that awkwardness too when they could. And this is what baby boomer parents have done to they want to keep you subservient to them. They do. They want you to think you're never going to be as good as them. That's what the narcissist baby boomer parents want. They want you to know you'll never be as good as they are. And they will do whatever they have to prove that to you, to make you believe it. Mom often said to me, "This is not you. I know you're better than anyone, even yourself." When I argued, she would say, "Too bad we don't have a close mother-daughter relationship that I always wanted. I don't even know what the word mother means." When Mom was too harsh on Dad, I jokingly said, "Poor Daddy." Mom took offense. "You never say poor Mom," she said. Oh, see, and that's it. The baby boomers can't, and then they start turning on each other. The only time baby boomers can't stop being jealous of each other or attacking each other is when they're attacking you. And that's why they need to attack you, so they don't attack each other. Always Dad. When I disagreed, she said that there was a type of woman who would always take the guy's side to be liked by guys, and I was one of them. I thought it was unfair. I wonder if they had competition between them or something, or did this threaten their roles? It's competition. Dad sabotaged my brother's hobbies and tastes. When my brother was good at martial arts, Dad said, you can tell you're not good at it. When brother was learning to play guitar and was very good, Dad was saying he was playing garbage. Brother was really into swimming. Dad barely ever attended any of his events and made jokes. Later, unfortunately, for my brother and me, he got cut from a university varsity team, which was pretty devastating to my brother as swimming meant a lot to him at the time. Dad sent him an email the same day saying, finally, swimming is in the past and there are better things to do, which was to work for him. Dad owns his business. Mom works for him. So at his business, does he walk around threatening people? Does he do any of that shit at his business? Probably not. That's how you know it's bullshit. Mom works with him. He wants the whole family to live in the same house and work at his company. He was supportive with things that he suggested or could fit into his picture. As for other interests, he belittles them. I'm very curious and love doing a bunch of different things. He said, I didn't know what I wanted, was stupid, and was nothing outside the family, even when I was making my own living. He hates that I have many friends and do a lot of things here and there. Mom and Dad are jealous of our friends and have tried to prove to us they are not real friends and only Mom and Dad are. They sabotage my brother's events with friends by not allowing him to take the bus on time for absolutely no reason. They made him be late at the destination to make his friends wait, and if they had to leave, the parents would say to my brother, see, they're not your real friends. They also told me many times that my mother again would always be who my real friends were. They're not your real friends. They're not your real friends. They're not your real friends. They also told me many times that I am good to my friends, but bad to my parents, that I find time for friends but not for them. I know this is not true. They always want to know who we are close with. We don't tell them anymore. You shouldn't even be speaking to them anymore. You should already be no contact. There were also sexual issues. Mom tried to wash my brother until his teenage years. She tried to take off his swimming shorts, but he would tie them too tight. She insisted on watching my breasts regularly to see if they were healthy. Oh. I felt bad once she grabbed my brother's dick, asking him what that was, pretending she thought there was something stuck in his pants. Every time, you got to get away from these people at this point. Jane, no more. No more with this. No more. Every time my brother would get caught scratching his balls, she would say he was an exhibitionist and wanted to see his junk and wanted his junk seen by everyone. For some fucking logic she only knows. Dad passed by the bathroom window while I was taking a shower and threw a look at me, smirking slightly as I was hiding. Since we were little, parents were intimate without closing the door. We were scared to go to the bathroom by accident. My brother has seen my mother, and I have seen my dad walking around naked. Mom likes slapping brother's ass and kissing him on the neck. When he confronted her, she said it was a normal thing to do. No, it isn't. Dad likes hugging me around the waist and stomach, which I dislike and I show I'm uncomfortable with. These Germans are sick in the head. This is what it was like growing up in my house. Nudity, playboys, dicks around, fighting naked. It's just grabbing dick. My mother slipping into my room trying to see dick. Grab dick. Told you, my German grandfather, when we went to go clean out his office, I opened up the closet door behind his desk. and this is not an exaggeration when I say this, from floor to ceiling, stacked of fucking porn mags, Shiza porn, German porn, foreign porn, the fucking shit with, what in the fuck? They said my brother did not have a girlfriend because I gave him a bad example of girls as I shook my ass in front of him. I practiced belly dance in my sports pants. And my brother was kicking my ass with a leg, joking around. Mom and Dad said to me after that I must not allow him to kick my ass and can't shake it in his presence. When I asked why, Mom suggested that I Google. Dad said that young guys' sexual fantasies could barely be separated from female family members. Oh, God, you creeps. When I told this to my brother, he was shocked too, and we still laugh at this shit. This conversation with parents happened when I refused to spy on him. They asked me about his private life as they were allegedly very worried about him for some reason. No, they were getting off on this shit. I suggested they ask him. They said he wouldn't tell them and asked me to find out for them. When I said no, they said I did not care about my brother, and that is all this and all this BS. Although we are more clear about our parents being narcissistic by now, we still have some questions and doubts. For example, you have doubts? Really? I don't think by now you have doubts. For example, we are not sure what pattern or logic stands behind Mom's choice to either protect us when she did on some occasions or join in on the abuse. What logic? It's whatever floated her boat at the time. It's whatever suited her needs at the time. That's how the narcissist works. Sometimes they'll give you a little, and sometimes they'll join in on the abuse. It's all calculated. It's all to keep you on their toes. And it's all just what they feel like doing at the fucking time for whatever suits them, whatever they feel suits their needs best. It also seems like they have certain roles in the relationship, and if we mess them up, shit hits the fan. What do you think? Yeah. They're baby boomers. Their goal is to make sure you think you're less than them and you can't survive without them. That's their goal. That's their role. The only way you combat this is to cut them out of your lives completely. This will only get worse, not better. It only gets worse. Another thing that they both have done a lot for us too. They raised us generally healthy, gave us their time and attention, played with us and taught us how to read, write, and calculate before we even got to school. They let us take dancing and music classes, put us in good schools, and helped us pay university tuition. Oh, so they did what normal parents do. That's what you're supposed to do. Stop giving them credit for what they're supposed to fucking do. That's normal. They have the means to do it, and they do it. That's what you're supposed to do. They didn't get credit for doing what they're supposed to do. We remember and appreciate all these, and we have always wanted to do the best for them as well. And it doesn't matter how much good they do to you once they broke you. Take a plate, smash it, and put it back together. Will that plate ever be the same? No. And that's you and your brother. And that's why it doesn't matter what fucking good memories are piled on top of it, because they've already broken both of you long ago. And now you think these good memories are something that they're supposed to get credit for, when it's something that every fucking normal human being parent does and is supposed to do. They get no credit. We remember and appreciate all these. We've always wanted to do the best for them as well. But they have barely ever been genuinely happy when we did something for them. And it was always not enough to take them out to their general heavy and problematic mood, and things would go down at any moment anyway. It felt like we were just not enough by definition. Like we were trying to cover ourselves, some black holes in their souls, and could never do that. That's what they wanted you to think, because they want you to think you're never going to be as good as them, and you're never going to be good enough. That's the narcissistic baby boomer parent. That's what it's like being raised by them. That's what happens. That's my life. That's many people's on this channel's life. The only way you combat this is to cut them out of your lives completely. Like they expected us to make them happy and solve their problems for them since we were tiny. Do you think this is the case? I think they were just trying to make you feel inferior to them and make you feel like you're the cause of all their problems, so they can keep you subservient and get you to work for them your entire life. That's what it was about. And how can a person combine love of their kids and all they do for them with the abuse? Does it mean that all the loving things were not sincere? Yes. Yeah. That's what it means. Or do they not have integrity as individuals? No, they're narcissists. They have no integrity, and they're baby boomers. Thank you, Ollie. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and Charlene. Jane. Well, Jane, thank you for your contribution and story. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until you cut these people out of your life and realize, okay, everything they did was to make you and your brother feel like you're inferior, you're bad, you're never going to be good enough, and you'll never accomplish anything without them. So you might as well go ahead and turn your lives over to them for the rest of your lives. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and story, Jane. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from you guys. Without you, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.